If you're noticing that your girlfriend or your wife is slowly backing away, the contact is less and less, she's talking to you and reaching out less and less, I'm gonna give you 3 reasons why this is happening. So the first one is that you are being a needy little bitch. And what I mean by this is that you look to her for validation, you look to her to lift you up every day at the end of the day, you look to her to make you feel better if you're down in the dumps, and you slowly have turned into a man who can't hold his own. He needs to look to her as a therapist or to treat her like his mommy, right? You're having a bad day, so you go to her, and hopefully you're not doing this, but probably a lot of you are, is you're going to her and being very emotional because you are under the impression that, oh, if I'm vulnerable, if I show emotions, that she's gonna really appreciate that. She's gonna see how much I'm in touch with my emotional side. And what you're doing in reality is you're behaving like a woman, and it's turning her off and it's pushing her away. She wants to get away from those needy, mopey, cringy behaviors that you're most likely doing. And if you're a hot guy, if you're a really good looking dude, she'll put up with this for longer. If you're an average looking dude, less so. And if you're not attractive, she's not gonna put up with this for long at all. So the first thing is you're being needy. The second thing is that you are too available. Every guy out there thinks that, oh, I gotta be, when she messages me, I gotta hit her back right away. If she calls me, I gotta call her back right away. She has to know exactly what I'm doing at all times of the day. I have to be in contact with her from the time I wake up to the time I go to bed. Guys that wake up in the morning being like, good morning, every day. And the woman that you're dating or that you're married to knows exactly your entire schedule, knows exactly what you're doing, and there's absolutely zero mystery. And to be fair, you guys grew up like that. You're under this impression that, oh, clear communication is the key to a good relationship. Well, yeah, being a good communicator, that's one thing. Being able to verbalize and express yourself and say the things that are on your mind clearly and concisely, yeah, that's very important. But talking nonstop, having zero mystery, having zero intrigue about yourself as a man, that's where you're going wrong. So those of you guys out there who are filling her in on every step of the way, every single of your day, every single day, you're probably gonna notice that she's backing off. She's not coming to you as much as maybe she did in the beginning. Okay, so that's number 2. The third one, and this one's no fun, if you've ever gone through this, is that she's starting to hang out with another man. And she's testing the waters, and she's starting to build a little bit of difference between the two of you. And women will do this because they do this thing, which I'm sure you've heard, called monkey branching, where you got one hand on this branch, and before you let go, you've already got your hand on the next branch so you don't fall. And that's essentially what a lot of women will do, is that if things are not going well in their relationship, they'll stick it out. They're able to fake the funk, and the guys are completely oblivious to it. They don't see the signs. But her contact gets less and less, and her affection becomes less and less as she starts to slowly spend more time with the guy who's more charming, more masculine, more funny at work. The guy who isn't leaning on her to be his therapist. That guy at work that she's just going to lunch with. The guy that she says just friends. She's slowly moving away, and she's giving him more time, and she's giving you less time. So those are the 3 reasons. Now, what do you do about this? How do you handle this? Well, the most important thing is that you gotta completely stop all forward momentum. You don't chase. You don't reach out and say, hey, what's going on? What's going on, babe? I haven't heard from you. What's going on? Don't do that. You stop all forward momentum and you start getting busy with your own stuff. You withdraw all attention. If her attention has gone away from you, then yours needs to go away from hers. And I'm not saying that if you get back to normal, you go back to your old ways. No, you need to teach yourself how to completely stop being needy. It's a cardinal sin in the land of maintaining a relationship with your woman, you need to stop being needy. You need to have your own life going on. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is stop pestering her. And a lot of you guys think, oh, well, she's not reaching out, so let me message her. Let me start being more emotional. There's this thing where guys believe that if they can be a little bit more emotional, if they just go one step further with how vulnerable they are, it's like they treat it like a slot machine. You just keep popping those quarters, and if I'm vulnerable about this thing, maybe finally I'll hit the jackpot, and she'll think, oh my God, baby, you were so vulnerable. Take me now. Bring me to the bedroom and just ravage my body. That's what a lot of guys think, that if they can just crack that vulnerability or emotional slot machine, that they're somehow going to end on this beautiful jackpot where her legs just spread and you're like, I have arrived. And that's not how it works. You need to remove your attention and start doing your own thing. Don't bring it up. Don't do anything with regards to her backing off. You just slowly stop reaching out. And all of a sudden now you're busy. And what this is going to do is she's going to very, very clearly notice, like, oh, wait a second. He didn't message me good morning 8 times today. He hasn't shown me everything that he's doing. He hasn't showed me his sandwich that he's eating for lunch. What's going on here? So now she's going to start to wonder about you. What the hell's going on? Did he find somebody else? What's going on? So then she'll reach out to you and she'll ask you, well, hey, you seem so distant lately. She'll like to point the finger back at you. You're so distant. And then you just keep doing what you're doing. What are you talking about? I just been busy with, I've got such and such practice, or I've been working on my photo project, or I've been busy at work just getting some extra hours in. Oh, well, I just haven't heard from you. Well, what's the matter, baby? Did you miss me? Put her on the spot a little bit, tease her a little bit. And then she might say something like, oh, yeah, well, I was just wondering, I haven't heard from you. And then you could say something, well, if you miss me that much, sweetheart, pick up your phone and give me a call. Love to hear from you. And that's it. You flip it back on her now. So she is back into the chasing mode. But you don't explain, oh, well, I just didn't hear from you, so I was just going to give you your space, and I just didn't want to encroach upon what you were doing, so I just want to give you some time and respect your needs. Don't say shit like that. You just keep it fun, playful, and the less information, the better. Now, if you're being needy and she's backing off, like I said, you have to train yourself to not seek her out for that validation of lifting your spirits. And let me tell you something, because a long time ago, I fell into the trap of doing that. And the reality is I always felt a little weird doing that. I wasn't like super, super emotional in terms of like sharing all this stuff, because by default, I do my own thing. But the reason why I was doing it to begin with was because I was under the impression that if you do that, you can build a better relationship. Like, because the mainstream pop culture says, hey, be more vulnerable. Communication is key. Share everything, open dialogue, blah, blah, blah. That stuff is bullshit. And so, but of course, being younger, I didn't really know. I just thought that was the way, because everyone says it. So that must be the key to a really good relationship. But it only makes you look really needy. So you have to get, because I believe that even if you've had needy behaviors, I think somewhere deep down in most men, they know that, hey, something's a little whack about this. Like, I don't really need to be being this emotional or this kind of in my feelings all the time. I want to get shit done. I want to accomplish things. So search within yourself and find that version of yourself and realize, okay, I've been fucked over by all this bullshit advice from the mainstream. So I'm going to go back to my thing. You can share things, but don't lose the needy part. Okay, so anyway, you're going to rely on yourself, get back into your thing, and don't be seeking her out for validation. You can share things with her, enjoy things with her, but don't be using her as your therapist and complaining and crying for God, God forbid, do not be crying in front of her, shit like that. Okay, so that's the first thing. If you're a guy who's tool available, same thing, get your ass busy. Go out doing projects. Do not be always picking up the phone. Do not be texting right away. You need to be busy. Just put your phone on silent and just get involved with the project. Go do something. She has to wonder about you. She has to be intrigued. Like, what I haven't heard from all day. What's he doing? I wonder what he's up to right now. She needs to be thinking about you. If you're constantly telling her what's going on, constantly in contact, there's no wonder. And a woman's brain, her imagination, is how she becomes aroused. And you want her to be aroused by you. You want her to, when she does finally get to see you, be turned on by you. Be like, oh, I've missed his touch. Okay, so that's the purpose of it. It's not to play games, because a lot of women, I know they're going to say, well, I don't like to play games. No, what you're saying is that you're masculine, you want to be in control, and you want a wimpy dude who's at your beck and call to just answer you whenever you want, and you're very insecure. That's what that means. Women who are feminine, who are comfortable, who are confident in themselves, they can comfortably wonder, and they encourage their man to go out and live his life. But she does want to wonder about him. She wants to long for him. Women enjoy doing this. Third, the one with the dude if the dude's in the picture, well, the cleanest move, the best move is just you're done. I mean, if she's already stepping out, if her attention's waning, it's game over, and you just need to pull the ripcord right then and there. Because if somehow you do turn it around, you're gonna have that thought in the back of your mind all the time. Is she gonna do it again? How far did they go? What's she doing at work? It's gonna burrow into your mind. And so now some of you guys who are married or are really deep into a long-term relationship, and it's not that easy, I get that. What I would suggest then is you have to, it's similar to the first two things, but you do need to pull back. You need to take away your attention. You don't keep giving someone attention who's taken away theirs. So you get busy. You start to look, you work on yourself. You start to look better. You start to dress better. Pay attention to these things that will make you more attractive to other women. I'm not saying that you need to go out and cheat, but hey, interact with other women. Flirt with other women. Talk with other women. Show that, hey, I'm a man of value that other women are intrigued by, and if you wanna pass this up, that's fine. So obviously, if she is long gone and is off with the other dude, then yeah, you need to get out of there. But if you're trying to really salvage it, if you're just dating, I suggest it's time to move on. But if you're in a marriage that's a little more difficult, that's what I would suggest that you do. Is you need to really up your game, up your status, and show her that, hey, I got a handful of other ladies who are interacting with me. There's possibilities out there. I'm not saying that I'm doing anything, but there are possibilities out there that I can take advantage of if we need to go our separate ways. You have to create leverage for yourself. So these are the 3 symptoms of when a woman's backing away. And those are 3 tips on 3 ways you can really switch things around. But it's all about that mindset, guys. You need to get out of needing to be around her all the time. You need to be busy with your own life. I mean, this always boils down to your life mission and purpose. Be clear about that. Have that going on in your life. Because if you don't, if you're literally just a puppy dog waiting for her all the time, you're doing everything for her, you're being lovey-dovey, it takes the tension out of the air. And you need tension. And I know you're going to hear women say, well, I don't like that. I don't like to play games. But take a look at the men that the women really fall for. It's the guys who never respond. It's the guys who have a couple of women around. It's the guys that they can never really figure out what's on their mind. You need to have intrigue. You need to have mystery. And this is just the way that it works. I'm just reporting what works, what has worked for me my entire life, what has worked for many, many other men. And I know a lot of you guys are also going to say, well, I don't want to play games, blah, blah, blah. It's not a game. There are certain things that you do to build and maintain attraction over time. And one of them is just doing your thing. If she asks, then yeah, tell her about what's going on. Like, hey, yeah, I was doing such and such. But you're not reporting and sharing everything all of the time. Now, when you're with someone for a long time, this does change over time a little bit, and you don't need to, it might not need to be that aggressive with the what you do and do not say, but you need to be solid in that, and you're not just at her beck and call. You're a man on your own who lives his own by on his own terms, who has his own world. Just because you're in a relationship, it's not that you give it all up and now it's just serving her. That's gonna fuck you over more than anything. You need to be serving yourself, doing your thing so she can see you, look up to you, respect you. Okay, so stop being so available. Stop being this emotional, just ball of emotion all the time and needing to confide in her and tell her everything because you think it's gonna make the relationship better. It's not. She's gonna go away. She's gonna feel a little cramped, overwhelmed, suffocated. She's gonna start to slowly back off, and pretty soon you're gonna hear her say stuff like, I don't think this is working anymore. I love you, but I'm not in love with you anymore. Or I need my space. Things like that. For those of you guys who are just in the early stages of dating, and if a girl says, I'm sorry, my schedule's been so crazy. I'm just so hectic. That again, it's womanese for I don't really want to spend time with you. No girl's schedule is super crazy. They're on their phone all the time. That's bullshit. So you look at her actions. If she's saying that, it just means either A, you're kind of being too forward, she needs some space, or she's just not into you. So you need to be able to read these things and then move on. So, all right, guys, that is it for this video. If you have questions, please drop them down below. If you have not already, I invite you to subscribe to the channel. I drop videos every week. And if you're looking for one-on-one coaching with me, links down below. You can book a session whenever is best for you. Otherwise, cheers to you, and we'll see you in the next video.